In their collective push for a better Nigeria, the National Council of State, NCS, and the Nigerian Governors Forum at separate meetings on Tuesday passed a vote of confidence on the 14-month-old administration of President Bola Tinubu. NCS, comprising past presidents and some ministers and governors, among others, held their meeting with Tinubu presiding at the council chambers of the State House, Abuja. And NGF thereafter met with the president at the same venue. The Council of State meeting was attended by former presidents Muhammadu Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan, with former heads of state Yakubu Gowon and Abdulsalami Abubakar attending virtually. Ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo and elsewhile military head of state President Ibrahim Babangida were absent. Briefing newsmen after the meetings, the chairman of NGF and governor of Kwara State, Alhaji Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, stated that the two meetings came up with a resolution to pass a vote of confidence on Tinubu following presentations by some of his ministers on the implementation of the renewed hope agenda of his administration. To corroborate the position of the Council of State, we are now being joined by Tersoo David Ukechir, Convener Grassroots Support for Tinubu 2027. So, Tersoo, great to have you. Are you there?
Hi, Rafai. I miss you guys. It's been a
pleasure.
while.
Oh, I miss you
yes,
too, my brother.
I am.
Miss you so much. Good to have you back. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quickly, why is there a need to pass a vote of confidence on President Tinubu? Because I found that very patronizing. Why is there a need?
So, I think it's way overdue, though. The need has come at the right time, but I think it should have come quite earlier. So when you have the elders who see what we don't see in the public, and they are well informed, coming together, they might disagree, but having intelligent reports from a head of states, trust me, you can't push them around to do your dance for you. So they understand what is happening around the world, even though, I mean, it's not being, well discussed on the television or on the international platform. The world is facing a very tough time. It's called Cold War, but I don't call it Cold War. War is happening. You have a situation where you have a superpower. We are experiencing something that people are just not even paying attention in our own time, where you have a superpower which has been there for a very long time and being challenged, or being its influence is being challenged and taken to. So these things, if you go through history, when this stuff happens, what then happens is, the economy of the world suffers, number of nations suffers. And then you need to put this straight, because that's why I admire the government, because sometimes government can't even share what they know with the society, their challenges and all of that. You have one of the largest black nations, on earth. If you talk about South Africa, it's a mixed race. The Caucasians and the Africans. Okay, so you have a nation. If Nigeria, okay, let me give you an example. If the United States is succeeding or not succeeding, the citizens are going through challenges, and me and you know what's happening in the UK and United States. This guy, the people are suffering. And then you have a nation that, a narrative has been told that, look, these guys are way behind, they live on the trees, and then they discover that their economies are doing well. There's no nation, a superpower will allow that. So there's international politics, kind of, so yeah, it's well overdue though. So to answer your question, thank you.
I'm not sure you got my question. Why is there a need to pass a vote of confidence on the president? I know there are international politics.
And I answered it. I said they see what me and you can't. And like I said, you can't just bring them together and tell them, hey, come and give me a vote of confidence as a president. These are former presidents. These are guys who you can't push around. So the vote of confidence is it's just what the right thing to do.
No, it's a right. I mean, so is there a crisis situation is it that the president has not performed well and he needs a pat on the back by his comrades? Because I'm not sure his comrades will ever come out and say you are terrible in public, which are the former presidents. So is it because the economy is slumping, there's high inflation, cost of living crisis? We just came out of a protest because people are saying he's not performed well at all. Is that why they had to come pat him on? Because that's what I say, it's patronizing. Why is there a need for a vote of confidence, really? It's supposed to be an advisory council. And why do you think Olusegun Obasanjo didn't go there? Is it because he doesn't want to be part of the pat on the back?
Maybe he's not around. Maybe he traveled or so. But look, let me tell you.
Olusegun Obasanjo is well around. He declined to go.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't checked on Baba. So the thing here is this. If they do not believe or think that Baba, the president, deserves a vote of confidence, they will not even come. They will not even allow that to be convened.
All right. Okay.
Like I said, these are.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Ukechir, thank you very much. Now let's look forward. They've passed a vote of confidence on the president, but I'd mentioned yesterday that the most important vote of confidence is the one passed on the president by the people. If you look at what's happened in the last few days, particularly with the protests, you can almost judge that a number of Nigerians, maybe not all, but at least a large number of people are dissatisfied with the current state of things whilst the president is at the helm of affairs. I'd like you to share with us, how do you think the people will judge the president? Because that's the most important thing. They are the ones that he is governing over. So number one, the economy, look at the inflation rates, look at the fact that people have said that they are hungry, just put food on their table. Look at security, or shall I say insecurity, in the Middle Belt area, in the Northern area. So I want you to speak to the issues. Would people say that they are satisfied with this administration's government?
Okay, thanks very much, though. One of the reasons why I actually started with international, comments was because, look at what's happening in the UK, okay? Now, I mean, what's actually happening in the UK is this. Look, the people, the economy is so really bad, and people can't even feed. They can't accommodate themselves. That's why I said that it's called Cold War, but war is happening. And you have where a superpower like America, you have the Europeans coming together to challenge what they've been used to for a very long time. Where you have the Chinese, just one second. I'm going to come back. I got your question, but I'm going to come back to it.
Because you have a short time, just on Nigeria. So let's leave on Nigeria.
The narrative. Okay, so let me be very quick. So the situation of things here is this, that it's just not Nigeria that is going through the hardship that we're experiencing. So the president came on board where the troubles and economic problems were so massive, and so it is too quick and too urgent to say, look, we're going to say, look, he's not doing too well. But look, take this, just give the president. You make me to talk too quickly, which I don't know how to do. But anyway, give this country the next 3 to 4 months. Just the local government financial autonomy, things will change. Just that. Okay, just that. I believe that, of course there's difficulty. I'm not denying that. And the president is not denying that either. I'm not taking a brief for him, but there's difficulty, tough times and all of that. But it all started from somewhere. He came in to fix it. That's why he doesn't even have time to complain. Look, trust me, the problems are... Okay, let me give you an example, okay? Do you know, like, early this year, bringing your containers of maybe, whatever you're bringing into the country, because we don't produce everything, all right? The freight, okay, how much was it? Less than $5,000. Now is $12,000. So if you go buy your, maybe your hairspray that we don't produce in Nigeria, that's coming from Asia or any country around the world, and you are told it's 10,000 naira, before you used to buy it for 700, would you say it's our country that is making? No. So there's an international dimension in everything that's happening around the world.
Mr. Ukechir,
and I think that, yeah.
Duly noted. So are you saying that the inflation figures that we're quoting daily, that are being released by the National Bureau of Statistics, are you saying they have no bearing, that the current situation is a geopolitical situation here in Nigeria? Is that what you're saying?
So, like I said, there were problems that were inherited, and the president is fixing them. It started way back. Or you just have a president that does not want to complain or put blames on anyone. Like I agreed with you to say that, look, I mean, people are going through difficult times and all of that. Give it time. It's too early to conclude that, he's not doing well.
Okay, so
speaking of time, runaway.
Speaking of time, because earlier you did say we'll see what's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 months. Can you tell us exactly what we should be expecting in the next 3 to 4 months?
Well, quite simple. I mean, the local governments get their money, and there will be local governments will be spending money on projects, goods and services, paying for services, and money will flow around. I mean, so you have a lot of young people going back to their local governments to work. You get. So you're not, they're not longer going to be depending on the state governments to, so a lot is going to happen. So I know that it's with time, the economy is going to be, is going to wake up again. But why I was going, taking the narrative of international dimension is that, look, it's a global world today. Anything that happens in Ukraine, anything that happens in Israel, it affects everybody around the world. And nobody's talking about this. It's not just Nigeria. There was riot in UK. People breaking into stores, stealing food. The British people stealing food, stealing groceries. It was on television.
Okay, sorry, my last question
to you. So the whole riot is just not about...
Before I hand over to Rufai, just my last question to you, since you're referring to the riots in the UK, because the end bad governance, protests yesterday were quoted by the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake. He said they were not protests, that it was a movement to enforce regime change. So, is it fair for us to say that there's a concern that people are unhappy that this vote of confidence was something that needed to be done as a sign of solidarity because there's a general sentiment that the masses may be unhappy with the president?
So I think I agree with his narrative. Might not be 100%, but let me tell you this. Are people not unhappy in Anambra State, for instance? And now, let me tell you what. Why would the Europeans come and, have an international dimension again, sharing of Russian national flags? What does that tell you? You don't need to go to Harvard. You just need to go to Lagos school, night school to understand. Just 1 second. To understand that there is a narrative to destabilize Nigeria. And that's not going to happen.
Yes, and those that want to destabilize Nigeria, we've punished. Because President Tinubu has done well.
Sure.
Yes. So I'd like to quickly talk to you about this. No, President Tinubu has done well, by your estimation, done very well. The economy is moving. Everything is looking good. The second question I'd like to ask you
I didn't say that. I said there are challenges.
No, hang on a minute. Mr. Ukechir, the president has done well. I mean, he could have done a lot better, but he's done well. Yeah, he's a good man. In 4 months, inflation will come down. Like you said, local government will get their money will circulate, inflation will come down, people will get goods, economy will be better in 4 months. I would like to ask you about the senator's salary. Do you think it's fair for a bunch of 109 guys to get 21 million naira a month? That's about 252 million naira for one person a year to run their cost in a country where people cannot even feed on $2 per day, where it is difficult for people to get less than 2,000 naira to treat malaria or 3,000 naira to treat malaria. Do you think that's fair?
So, I mean, 50-50, I don't believe that that's not fair, really, to be honest with you. Now, the question is, this is the areas that we should be channeling our, energy and resource, but we're not. We're all focusing on the president. Everything ends up on the president's table. Look, trust me, look, if I have my way, my friends in politics, the senators I respect and, and the House of Representatives, look, come and serve your country for free. So, I mean, 100% I'm with you. But then, it did not start with Baba Tinubu. It did not start with President Tinubu.
So can you tell him
it has been going on.
Can you tell him to cut their money in half? Can you just solicit him to cut their money in half? Or is okay what he's doing, that he should allow the money to continue? Because it's under him too. They started earning hardship. Hardship allowance came in. A lot of money was reviewed. He added more to their budget. So he is pretty much part of the cause of this, because he added more to their money from the Buhari administration. So he was also the one that, for good measure, bought them a Prado Jeep of 160 million. I mean, a Toyota SUV of 160 million. So for good measure. So can you tell him to cut the salaries of these lawmakers? Or is it 50-50?
I will prefer if we say this. Watch this. Can we collectively tell him, advise, not tell him, advise, just not me.
No, so can't you, so I'm asking you this. Let me tell you, Tersoo, Mr. Tersoo, can't you take a position on this and just speak for yourself? Collectively, we all tell him here every day. But can you, as a member of his grassroots support group, tell him that President Tinubu, these high salaries by lawmakers make you look bad? Can they cut their salaries? And can you tell him to his face and speak truth to power?
So a president is a president. I will, and that's this. I mean, I would not just look into the face and say, "Baba, do this." No.
So you can tell him.
But
stuff.
like I said, if no, like I've said what you want, you ask him, and I've given you the answer. Like I said, if I have my way, these guys should come and serve our country and their people for free.
Okay. So Tersoo, can I just ask, what stops you from just saying, President Tinubu, the wages of our senators are so much, please cut it? Can you just say that in the camera to him now?
I don't have the anointing to do that.
Right. Okay, so, I mean, fair enough. You're a Nigerian, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. So if you're happy with the president's tenure, that's absolutely fine. That's your perspective. But I want us to talk about the future. The theme of this administration is renewed hope. So please paint a picture of hope, because there must be something hopeful you've seen such that you convene the grassroots mobilization for a second term in 2027, even though we're just in the early stages of his first term. So I want you to look at the economy. That's a big deal for Nigeria. And in light of the international realities you've painted, let's take Ghana, for example. This morning, during our newspaper roundup, we looked at how Ghana had brought inflation numbers year on year from 2023, 55%, halved it to 21.5% under the same international climate, right? Because Ghana is not removed from the international happenings in Israel, Russia, and the likes. Whilst Nigeria, year on year for June or for July, has gone up almost by double, 26.98% to 40.8%. Nigeria and Ghana, family members almost. Under the same international climate, what can we do so that we can also bring our own inflation numbers down by this same administration?
Okay, I mean, I love it. Majority of times, my friends and beautiful people like you, we just bring in Ghana. Ghana is just, I can't remember how it was the population currently, but it's just Lagos State maybe. You're talking about Nigeria. So let me give you an example. A very well-respected elder statesman said recently that he was going to take President Tinubu to international court for prosecution. And my question was that, what did you do when the former Chief of Army Staff, his security was breached by, peaceful protesters or violent protesters? I don't have the detail. And hundreds of people were killed. Now, you see, why am I bringing this? In the context of our country, you have people in country that fights the country itself. See, what I've realized that that there are people that just want to discredit the government for not doing well, so they do everything in their resource to make sure that doesn't work, and they want to be presidents of the country in future. It's very shameful. Look, let me tell you. Look, let me give you an example. Okay, I'm a businessman. I'm the convener of Grassroots Support for Tinubu. I have been spending my money building boreholes around the country. I've not even done a documentary to show the whole world. I've not done one single contract with the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because if I'm saying this is what should be done, let me do it for everybody to see.
Okay, Mr. Ukechir, we have to go. Mr. Ukechir, we have to go. But you didn't answer my question.
Why do you guys always not give me time to engage?
Oh, we had a lot of time.
Please, why you guys should give me more time to engage? I love talking to you guys.
Okay,
Rufa, I miss you guys, though. You guys should give me more time.
So very briefly, Mr. Ukechir, just as what should we expect in the next few months from this administration, at least to encourage Nigerians who are watching? In 30 seconds.
Oh, well, so Nigeria is going to go back to her glory days, and the economy is going to pick up. You know, the right things are being done. The president is working day or night to make sure that the country comes back full gear to succeed.
Mr. Tersoo David Ukechir, we can't wait to call you in 3 to 4 months, where we believe that we shall be enjoying the return of the glory days. Thank you so much for your time today.